I was talking to young Jim Brown, James Brown. He was telling me that his rhythm and blues are rooted in Southern gospel singing. Now, he's a Southerner, of course. He was born in Augusta, Georgia, where he worked on a farm, picked cotton, worked in a coal yard, and always sang his songs. So we are delighted to present James Brown on our stage on this show. So let's have a fine welcome for our very fine talent. Yeah.
Big on him here in Augusta, his adopted hometown. They named an arena after him and a street held a James Brown Day. But the truth is, other than this weird statue, there's not a wisp of James Brown in this place. There's no feeling of him. He's a vapor now, just another tragic black tale. His story bought and sold and bought again, just like the slaves that were once sold at the Hunted Pillar just 2 blocks from where his statue stands. James Brown is forgotten in Augusta, really. The town is falling apart. Just like his memory, he's history, safely dead. But over in Barnwell County, just across the state line in South Carolina, the place where Brown was born and was living when he died, there is no uncertainty about who James Brown is. He is not a vapor there, but rather a living, breathing thing. See, they love James Brown in Barnwell. They don't see his broken life or the bottom feeder lawyers or his children fighting over the millions. They've seen enough evil in their own lives, going back to generations to fill their own book of sad tales. So why talk about it? Laugh and be happy in the Lord. James Brown died on top. The white man can say whatever he wants. Put that down in your little notebook, kid. We don't care. We know who James Brown was. He was one of us, but he sleeps with the Lord now, in good hands. Now here, have some more pie. See, many have gone down this road, and none to my knowledge have succeeded. The reason why we don't know who James Brown is he didn't want you to know. Because if you did know, you wouldn't understand anyway. The house where he was born, that is one thing. That's easily found. It was a shack just up the road from where I'm standing. He showed the ruins of that old shack to all friends all the time. I saw it where it once sat myself in a man's yard, a man with a big dog. That was close enough for me. The disappeared shack is now part of the Brow mystery. Keep 'em guessing, he told the Reverend Al Sharpton, whom he officially adopted when Sharpton was a teenager during the 1970s. He says to Al, don't stay in one place too long. Come important, leave important. Even with his audiences, Brown had that attitude. His band would arrive on stage and blow the doors down, knock them dead, while Brown waited backstage, occasionally smoking a cool, watching the audience, figuring out the exact time to hit the stage. When the audience was primed and greased and howling for him, only then would he come out. After the performance, the important folks, celebrities, and other stars who hung out backstage waiting to congratulate Brown. They would wait for 2 or 3 hours while Brown sat under the hairdresser in the dressing room getting his pompadour redone. Then he'd slip out without seeing anyone. Why are you leaving now? Sharpton would ask. There's important people here. They want to see you. His reply, kill him and leave. He did it for almost 50 years. James Brown was not common. James Brown was not easily found or discussed or discovered by anyone. James Brown kept his distance, but his past he could not kill and leave. Brown was always foggy about his past. When asked by reporters, he weaved and bobbed. He even told a reporter, what difference did it make? Folks think what they want to think anyway. He'd say he's from Augusta, Barnwell, Williston area, where he lived in a house with 18 people and no money. The story grew hair over the years. His mother ran off. How his father left with his Aunt Honey when he was 7 or 8. There's lots of versions of the story, a white version, a black version, historical version, a record company version. There's even an official version in his autobiography. Charles Bobbitt says of the biography, a lot of that stuff is the writer. Mr. Brown didn't talk that way. He has a lot of stuff in his family life that he didn't want to come out. I'm probably the only one who knows what's real and what's not. So what's real? The inside rumor about James Brown's parents, according to one of James Brown's friends, was that his father, Joe, and his mother, Susie, had a fight. Joe pulled out a gun and Susie jumped out the window and took off running and didn't stop until she got to New York. However, the split occurred. Joe was alone with the boy he knew he couldn't raise alone. Junior, that's what his family called him, he needed a family. Joe had one, a big one. He didn't have one mother, he had 5 aunts who were just like his mother. He knew they would take care of James just as they had taken care of him. James did what all the other children did. He picked cotton, walked barefoot, attending church on Sunday in one pair of shoes, which he took off on the way home and stored for the next week's service. Thanking God for that one pair that he did have. Joe left James in the right place, with family. A family that knew how to work, because the Gaineses pulled their own weight in the world. They loved Junior, and in the little time Joe spent with his son, he always reminded Junior of that, the importance of family. The town and surrounding areas where James grew up were needed. The United States government needed the land to make a bomb factory. This was the Cold War, and America needed to be strong. The nation needed Ellington's land and water, Savannah River water, and its surrounding rivers and creeks. In 1955, everyone and everything, dogs, sheep, cows, horses, mules, carts, houses, wagons, family photos, outhouses, had to go. 1,500 homes, 2,300 farms, 8,000 people. The majority of those were African Americans who had to leave. Toward the end of his life, Brown could have lived anywhere on the earth he wanted, but he moved into the shadow of that bomb factory. He built a $3.5 million mansion on a 60-acre stretch of land not far from his hometown.